Hi, good afternoon, and welcome back to the Digital Symposium of 2018. I'm Mervyn, and I'm joined by Vijay Vadgama, Parmar, and Rob Storrar. Am I right? We have two clinicians and one lab technician?
Correct. Yes. Yep.
That's it. Who's the lab technician?
That'll be me.
There you go. Great. This afternoon we're going to talk about digital scanners in general practice particularly. Vijay, I'd like to start with you. How do you decide on the right 3D scanner to buy, and what do you find the main uses in your practice?
Right. I'm very fortunate in that I've been interested in 3D scanners and digital dentistry going a long way back. I got introduced to it way back in CEREC 1, CEREC 2, done Vadgama, Omnicam, and recently, 2 years ago, we were introduced to using the 3Shape scanner. So what we decided to do was to invest into two different types of scanners, and it was something we had to decide at the time as to what was the clinic to use and why we should have two different types of scanners in the clinic. Having used the Omnicam scanner for many, many years, we thought it was limited in some respect in what we wanted to do in the clinic. So at the end of the day, what we had to do was to find out what is it that we wanted to achieve. Now in our clinic, we do implant work, we do smile design, we do orthodontic work. And in order to be able to do all those digitally, we decided that we need to mix and match two different types of scanners, because some scanners allow you to do, for example, the Omnicam and the CEREC system are very, very good systems for doing your restorations, whereas the 3D scanners that we get from Trios are very good for doing big jobs like orthodontic scans, smile design scans. So we, at the end of the day, decided to integrate the two systems. So at the end of the day, I think what one needs to do is to find out what you want to do and then work backwards to see which scanner is going to be more suitable for you.
Fair enough. Thank you for that. Ash, tell me, what made you decide? I know you've got a Trios 3Shape.
Yes, I would agree with Vijay that, I mean, for me, I bought the scanner, the 3Shape scanner on the cart about 6 months ago, 5-6 months ago. And I did a lot of research, so I'm newer to it than you are. And I was mainly looking at the iTero versus the 3Shape. And again, I thought about the type of work I was doing. We have a practice where we do more restorative dentistry, some orthodontics like Invisalign. But for me, the actual reputation of Trios and the research and what the general sort of professional opinion was at that time seemed to be very high on that. And I made a slight sacrifice on the Invisalign concept of having instant result there. So that's why I bought the 3Shape. And since then, I've been learning it, using it, and been very happy with it.
Terrific. Yeah. Rob, any comments?
I think having a scanning facility in your practice gives you another option. I'm very the same with VJ. Not one system covers everything, but again, Trios, Omnicam, pretty good. I mean, they are market leaders. They're market leaders for a reason. Yeah. We've got 3Shape in our laboratory. My digital journey started probably a little bit before yours. I had a 2D, the first CEREC 2D scanner, the Miller, scanner in Miller, which was basically a £30,000 coffee table, because it never worked that well. But because we was doing Instagram at the time. And then we sort of did outsourcing. We didn't have any design. You sent it to a lab. What you got back, as you know, depending on who you sent it to. But in 2009, we really started going with Econ. And that was the first real proper in-house scanner we had that really had a good system behind it. And then we went to the CS2 with Straumann. And I think 4 years ago, we went with the Trios, which is the first colour scanners. And they're just amazing.
That's really good. So let me ask you again, Vijay. How do you find the quality of restorations coming back from the labs compared to the average analog that we used to use before?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, the technology with the scanning on, especially even the Omnicam nowadays, you can get excellent marginal fit, which we use the in-house MCXL milling unit for single units. But when it comes to larger jobs, which you want to scan, let's say 6 units or 8 units, and you send the scan to the lab, the Trio scan, the work we get from the lab is fantastic. Yeah. I mean, we used to find in the analog times, we used to make some adjustments, it used to take a lot of time.
Absolutely.
Whereas with the Trio scanner that we send the jobs to the lab, and them using the 3Shape or the ExoCAD software because it's an open system, the work that comes back on the marginal fit is just mind-blowing. It's excellent. We hardly make any adjustments on the context, on the occlusion. So for me, it's like a no-brainer. I mean, I would never go back to an analog system, to be honest.
There you go. Ash?
At the moment, I'm going through a transition. So for my bigger smile makeover cases, Rob and I have agreed that for the first 25 cases, we want to record digital and analog. But like you, I'm finding that the fit quality is very good with the digital system. And what's really good, I think, is as a dentist, it makes you into a better clinician. I mean, you can see your preps close up. If you take a scan of your preps and there's some things you're not happy with, you analyze some undercuts or whatever, you can just go back and make those adjustments there and then. Whereas without the scanner, you don't have that opportunity, and photographs can only give you so much information. So it actually makes you a much better dentist. And if your preps and periodontal situation is very good, which has to be to take good digital impressions, then again, the standard of work is just going to get much better for the patients, I think.
Rob, any comments?
Well, for me, I throw it on its head, because if you have a dentist who maybe not up to present company accepted the standard of impression or information sending, once they've got a scanner, our life becomes easy.
Fantastic.
It just comes straight in. And even with what Ash said there, the first 25 cases, it's really nice to actually have an analog model, just to section it up and just see how it fits coming off of the 3D printed model. And the other interesting part from my point of view is literally going right from the wax up stage. So you just track that case right through it, so you check your fit, occlusion, and everything's great.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what we find is that when we send a job to the lab, for example, 12 units, having a 3D printer in-house as well, so we can actually print the model of the preps and keep that in-house, and when the restorations come back from the lab, we can actually sit them on that as a check.
That's
and we
amazing.
find that it's before the patient comes in, you've got to double check.
Yeah.
So in other words, I agree with Ash that having this dual system to start with is very good, but once you go a bit further down the line, and if you have a 3D printer in-house, you can actually print your own model and check everything.
I was going to ask you, how has milling and 3D printing really brought benefits to the practice? And that's exactly what you're saying.
That's right. I mean, we got involved with 3D printing about 2 years ago, and we invested into a lab printer. Because, I mean, obviously we had a choice of using one of the form labs, the simple ones which are a bit slow, and seeing sort of production we do in our clinic, we felt a lab printer and a slightly better investment would be a better way to go. And looking back, that's the best thing for us, because it's faster, it's better, it's more accurate, and that allows you to print your surgical guides, print your models, lots of occlusal splints, tooth whitening models, and we print everything in-house at the moment.
Which have you got? Which printer have you got?
We're using the Rapid Shape,
Rapid Shape.
yes, which
That's
is a
quite
proper
good.
lab printer.
That's great. Again, it's quite. That Seeger's another very good one. Your Seeger, because they're open system.
Open system.
That's
exactly,
correct.
yeah.
Can I just ask? So you said earlier about your lab do it all virtually and literally just send you the restorations and you try them onto the models when you get them.
Correct.
That is a leap of faith.
Yes.
I would have sleepless nights over that.
Well,
and he would.
Well, I think the first 10 cases we did them very similar to what you've done.
It's interesting.
Yeah, but then when we print the models and the STL file that's sent to the lab is going to be exactly the same.
Yep.
Now, obviously, if you're using a milling system, you'll have to calibrate and make the spacing and all that kind of stuff, the CAM software. We as a clinic don't want to get involved with that, because we think a technician, highly experienced technician like Rob, who actually understands digital side really well, it actually is what you need to form a really good team. And once you have formed a team with the technician, then I think you can go on to that next stage.
Wow.
Now, what I'd like to ask you as well is, what would you say the benefits of digital communication tools and secure transfer of data? Do you
That's
find it
very
safe?
important in this day and age, because of the GDPR regulations,
Exactly.
the patient's privacy and all those issues that we have. So I think now having a secure portal, and I think Henry Schein do a really good portal of the Connect software, where you can send your data online, and you're absolutely sure that that data is going to be very secure. Whereas I think people use Dropbox and other different options, which I think at the moment, if you really look at them, they're not as secure.
And it can so easily go to other people.
Correct. So that's very important in terms of the new regulations, to use a secure portal.
And so my last question, to all three of you, you can take it in turns. What are the major benefits for the dentist, the patient, when working as a team with a knowledgeable dental technician?
Is that me first?
You go first.
I've always been involved in the work. Yeah, we have done for 20 years, work closely together. So you work that as a team. I think it's always a team approach. And I think as a co-discovery, which Ash spoke about, the patient's involved as well. And I think if you get everyone involved, and it's easy for people to share information.
Yeah.
If you need to show someone a digital photo, you can do. And we haven't even brushed on the fact of how much digital imaging stuff we can do. There's tons of that, which will help you in your case presentations and the patient understanding what she's going to get or he's going to get at the end of the day.
Ash?
For me, one of the biggest uses of the 3Shape is actually the initial diagnostic scan that I do. And from a patient point of view, this process of showing them exactly what's happening in their mouth, they're very impressed with that. But more importantly, you can explain very simply and clearly to them the problems in the mouth and the diagnostic things that are going on, because they're often unaware of what's going on. So from a patient point of view, that's also very good use, apart from communicating with your technician and getting restorations made in the lab. And you know, it just, some people gag, and that's a big deal, and you can't take their impressions properly. So the good old digital comes to our rescue,
of course,
and that's going to be a tremendous thing forward as well.
Yeah.
And it's important to work with a lab that knows what they're doing, and then you get that confidence. Because if you just bought a scanner and you're new to it, you want that support actually. You want the expert at that time.
Absolutely.
So you've got to work with someone who's actually going to mentor you or help you or guide you in that journey.
Vijay?
I mean, we had a very interesting journey in the clinic where I'm working for the last 38 years. We had a lab on site. Gradually, the technician moved on. He was totally analog. And obviously, having a technician on premises is very useful because you can communicate, you can come down, have a look at the case. So after the technician left for all sorts of reasons, we gradually moved into the digital side of things. And now I'm finding it's come a whole circle, that with the latest ability to transfer the 3D data, the 3D images, the photographs, communication in all sorts of different ways, actually the technician can literally be there and have a look at the prep and come back to you within 30 seconds and say, look, I don't like that, can you check that? In fact, I find that's faster than having a technician on the top floor, because he's busy and you want him to come and look at the patient. He says, I'm a bit busy. Now it's much easier and much faster. So in fact, I think it's actually better. You don't need a technician on site anymore. I think with the technology, your technician can be the other side of the world, and you still do the same job.
And you can, if you're not sure, you've got an amazing computer in your pocket. Take a little video, talk to the patient, do all your stuff, go straight to the lab. We can, or like you say, do your scan. We can be on our screen. No, don't know that area there. Take a bit more off that side. Perfect.
Yeah, it works as a fantastic team.
It's moving dentistry along, really.
Yeah, big time.
And it's all about teamwork. Well, I want to thank you all very much, Vijay, Ash, and Rob, for your time. I think it was a terrific discussion. I think anybody who really watches this will really learn. I think it's been brilliant. And let's take another short break, and we'll be back with more discussions with the Digital Symposium 2018.